Thanks for tuning into the Pre-Patch Podcast. Check out these patch notes.
Well, I mentioned about wanting to play Battlefield, the new season, 2042. It's got a lot of hype. It's another game that I think, just like Siege, is on the up and up. And is doing well. It's on the Battlefield cycle. But the reason I haven't is, well, because if you've been watching anything that has to do with the ALGS, which is the Apex Global Series, which is their competitive scene for esports, you would have heard that there were many streamers that were literally in the middle of playing in this massive tournament, and then all of a sudden wall hacks got turned on, and then aimbot, and then they lost control of their entire character, literally in the middle. Like this group of whoever else was just hacking the shit out of Apex Legends. Well, then it kind of came out there that, this could be a big possible issue with like easy anti-cheat and that whole system being like a big problem, because it wasn't just that like they could get into your game and hack your game. They actually could get into basically your entire system, right? Like they could download stuff, mess around with things, they could change stuff, they could actually go and talk, add software to your device. It was a big problem, huge problem, right? Well, the easy anti-cheat, or EAC as we're going to continue to call them, basically came out and said, hey, there's no RCE vulnerability issues within the easy anti-cheat software, it's good. But then a group came back out and was like, no, like there is definitely still a problem. And this was like right after they came out and said that it wasn't a problem and that they need to be debunked. So real quick, I'm going to run you through the list of games that this all possibly
real
affected.
Quick. It's a
real
big
quick
list.
Yeah, it's a big list. So just get ready here. All right, we got 7 Days to Die, Absolver, Albion Online, Apex Legends, Audition Next Level, Battlefield 2042, Battlefleet Gothic Armada 2, Beyond the Wire, Black Clover, Quarter Nights, Black Desert Online, Blanco's Block Party, Blazing Saddles, Blazing Sails, Bleeding Edge, Block and Load, Cabal Online, Captain Saba, Card Life, Chivalry 2, Crossout, Cursed Fod, Darkfall, Risen Agon, Darwin Project, Dauntless, Dead by Daylight, Deadside, Dirty Bomb, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Dreadnought, Due Process, Dying Light, Bad Blood, Empyrean, Enlisted, Fall Guys, Fear of the Wolves, For Honor, Fortnite, Friday the 13th, Gears 5, H-Hour, World Elite, Halo Master Chief Collection, Heat, Hell Let Loose, Hood Outlaws, Hunt Showdown, Hurt World, Intruder, iRacing, Iron Sight, Jump Force, Last Oasis, Lost Ark, Mars, Memory of Mars, Miscreated, Monstrum 2, Naruto the Boruto, Shinobi Striker, The New Gundam Breaker, New World, One Punch Man, Overstep, Paladins, Pandemic Express. Isn't that a restaurant? Plants vs. Zombies, Battle for Postscriptum. Shut up. Predator, Hunting Grounds, Quantum League. I'm almost done. Ragnarok, Realm Royale, Rec Room, Reign of Kings, RF Online, Rising Storm 2, Vietnam, Robocraft, Rocket Arena, Rogue Company, Rust Scum, Sector's Edge, Smite, Space Junkie, Squads, Star Wars Squadrons, Super Dragon Ball Heroes, World Missions, Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullets, Tails Runner, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, Tom Clancy's Division 2, Trials Rising, War Rock, War Thunder, Warhammer 40,000, 40K, Eternal Crusade, Warhammer Vermintide 2, Watch Dogs 2, Will to Live Online, Wolf Team Turkey, Worms Rumble, Xera's Survival, and Yul Gang TH. That's the entire fucking list of games. So there you go. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think you missed one, actually.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to them again. All right, here we go. All right.
Go back and read them again. Just
all right, 7 Days to Die, Absolver. No,
Jesus, man.
All right. First off, half of these games even, I didn't even know Bleeding Edge was even still playable. Like, I didn't even know that was
not
like even a thing.
It's actually not. It's servers are shut down and everything. But hey, if you still have it installed on your system, you're at risk.
Is Fear of the Wolves is out. I don't even think that's a thing. Like, anyway, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Like, should people be afraid? Like, I didn't boot up Battlefield 2042 because of this. Do you think people should be afraid of this?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I think there's still a risk. We just don't know exactly everything that's at hand right now with it.
So I'll tell you from my own experience, and I have a little bit of experience when it comes to like adminship and everything like that, doing bad back end stuff and not and fighting against like our RCEs and like all that kind of shit, right? When it comes down to it, the fact of the matter is that in a lot of these games, especially Apex Legends, right? There's millions of people across the world playing Apex Legends. The percentage chance of you being hit by an RCE is about as big of it is about as much of a chance of you getting hit by a small piece of space rock that flew out of space and slapped you in the fucking head, right?
Well,
like,
let me tell you about my last Thursday night, Enigma.
You're at such a small percentage chance of A, being on the game that they're targeting, B, being the player that they actually target, and C, being a target of an RCE that's a malicious target where they're actually like injecting a like a virus or something malicious in nature, right? Where they're not just injecting like cheats or anything like that. So that's my only thing. Granted, yes, you should still be worrisome about it. You should still be looking at this because it is a vulnerability. Like it is giving people access to your computer that you wouldn't normally have access to, right? Like you don't want people to have access to your computer that you haven't allowed to have access to your computer. That's a bad thing.
I think it's more of a risk too for content creators specifically.
It is.
They're the ones who are
is.
like you've seen just now are the ones being targeted. And with RCE, that is, I mean, complete control of your computer at an extent. So they could install, forms of ransomware onto your computer and you know, pretty much screw you over. And if you're a content creator and say you have something that you don't want getting out in the public, that's the biggest thing.
The general player base, you're not going to have to worry about this kind of stuff. Like again, like I said, the percent chance that you're going to get targeted by this is so slim and null that it's not even worth mentioning.
Those like Apex and like Battlefield, like those huge games. Like,
do you think that the game devs have a responsibility to protect their communities from this kind of stuff?
I do.
Do you think they should be taking more action than what they are?
I think that if it does end up that easy anti-cheat is the reason why, which they've already come out and basically stated no, that we are not the reason. There is no vulnerabilities in our code, which take them at their word, I guess. If a lot of people were saying that this is the first tweet that they've tweeted in like 5.5 years or something like that, so take them at their, but that just to me means that they don't tweet a lot. I don't know how that's really a source of. You should trust them more because they haven't tweeted
anti-cheats tweets. Like, I don't know. It's
but the fact of the matter is that like if it isn't easy anti-cheats issue and there's no back end vulnerability in easy anti-cheat, then 100% like these developers that are having like Apex Legends. We talked about it when we were kind of in the pre-lobby for the podcast, right? Like Apex Legends has never had really great success when it comes to like stopping hackers and that shit. Like they've always had like a really bad back end for that kind of thing. So I could see it that it might have just been Apex Legends because I personally haven't heard anything from any other game really. And in this huge list of games, if there was RCEs, you would think that you would have heard something about it by now.
Do you want me to go through the list again? I can go
no,
through it
I don't want you to go through the list. I'm good.
The only reason I asked that question though is because the last time there was an RCE exploit that was in the public eye, it was Bandai Namco and the Souls games, and they took those online servers 100% down.
That was their online servers. That had nothing to do with their anti-cheat.
Yeah, right? But still, there's a vulnerability somewhere, at least as far as Apex Legends goes. Do you feel like EA and the Apex like Respawn are doing enough to protect their community from this kind of thing?
Not at all. No, EA is basically going to sit there and put it on easy anti-cheat until it's proven otherwise, and then once it is proven that if it does come out that it was EA Apex Legends, they'll be like, well, sorry, we're gonna try.
You
sorry.
You want to know what Respawn came out and said and what they're doing? They said, okay, on Sunday, few professional Apex Legends players' accounts were hacked during an ALGS event.
A few.
Game and player security are our highest priorities, which is why we paused the competition to address the issue immediately. Great, good, okay. our teams have deployed the first of a layered series of updates to protect the Apex Legends player community and create a secure experience for everyone. Thank you for your patience. Respawn.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all they've said. They came out with a very vague message just saying that they're deploying a layered series of updates to protect
Yeah.
us. So,
But
I
answer
don't
your
know.
question,
Like I
no,
said.
they've not. They're not. And what pisses me off about this whole thing, I will always go back to this. We can put a fucking robot on Mars that can take pictures and send them back. We can send a fucking telescope across the universe and across our galaxy and take fucking images from shit so far away that we've never even fathomed them. You're gonna tell me right now you can't figure out a fucking way to stop hackers and cheaters in your fucking game? Like, my car self drives itself, but you can't figure out a way to fucking stop a cheater from getting into my shit. Like,
are you saying NASA should be on this?
Sure, man. This is take it to the fucking top, bro.
Level?
Take this to Elon and Tesla and let them fucking deal with it. I don't know, man.
That's what it sounds like. But no, I agree. It is.
Annoying.
It's ridiculous. It is.
Like,
I mean,
I don't. It's just like this thing of like, oh, we need an anti-cheat system. Okay, let's go grab Denovu. Well, we know Denovu has issues.
Like, it's dangerous too. It's right. It's more than just annoying.
But here's the thing: is that if somebody,
to many,
let's just say yes, it does. It doesn't stop with the ALGS, and maybe it does affect other people, right? If someone does it and gets all their bank information or whatever else, it can ruin their life, right? You think the EA or any of these companies are going to do a thing about it? No, absolutely not. They're not going to bat an eye about it. They're just like they are able to absolve themselves of all risk and just kind of be like, well, we're doing what we can, but like, why was this a thing in the first place? Like, why does this exist? And I understand there's people in chat, they're saying like, hey, like, this isn't that, it's cybersecurity and that there's no perfect defense or lack of vulnerability. And I get that. Right. And I understand that.
I mean, that is true. Yeah. But that is one thing that like your self-driving car for the most part doesn't have somebody constantly attacking it with DDoS attacks, RCE attacks, trying everything in their possibility to get into it on an hourly, if not minute basis.
But I also feel like as we move to a more digital world and a digital frontier, and these games are things that are being always online and all, like, you do have a responsibility as a developer to ensure that your user base is protected. And if any, like, here's what I'll equate it to, right? You guys remember when Samsung had their phones, their like Note 3s or whatever else several years ago that were fucking exploding, right? And they were exploding in people's pockets, right? And all of that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I get it. That's physical harm, but that company was held to a standard by the US government because they were putting their users in known harm, right? But yet this kind of stuff right here, where this is known harm, right? And in serious issues, these companies will never be held accountable. They will not. Like, nobody, like the court systems, nobody's going to ever hold them accountable for this. They can just go out there and be like, oh, my bad, right? And again, I know we're taking it to extremes and saying, oh, that somebody could lose their entire bank account and like all they're doing is just fucking around with the ALGS stuff. But what's to say they weren't going to be malicious, like are malicious and actually install something that really was detrimental to these people's lives? Like, I just think that it's a very arrogant and also a very nonchalant attitude to kind of take of being like, oh, well, we fixed it, like we're working on a layered system, sorry guys. I don't know, maybe I'm alone in this, but I think this is bullshit.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean,
I'm with it.
So, and all of these groups.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, to go back on the question of whether or not you should be uninstalling these games and everything, I do think you should until we get more information on what is really at hand here, because we like I said, we don't have all of our cards on the table yet. We don't know.
Yeah. And it is sad because there are a lot of games on here that a lot of people do play. Like, again, I mean, you look at just like 7 Days to Die. All right, here we go. 7 Days to Die. No, but like, I don't
know, man. Again, I'm going to put it out there once more that while yes, I do agree with you that like just to cover your ass, dot your T's, whatever, cross your T's, dot your I's, all that shit. Uninstall them if you feel like you are at risk. But again, the chance of you being attacked and or targeted by this type of malicious, software intrusion is so null and void that it's not even worth you.
Yeah, but we can't bitch, moan, and complain about kernel level anti cheats, and then whenever a vulnerability does pop up, we're like, yeah, it won't happen to you. Like that seems hypocritical to me.
Yeah, well,
It just depends on the user.
I agree.
Because there is a chance, there is a risk still, but even if it's very slim and known, but you know, I would uninstall them. That's just me, my personal take.
I mean, I'm not playing them at least until I know more. Like,
thank you for checking out the patch notes. If you enjoyed this small selection from our podcast, come and join us every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the full unfiltered pre-patch podcast. And check out our past shows on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast.